All right, I just picked up this Land Rover LR4. That's a Land Rover Discovery 4. It's a 2010, and it's got this interesting issue with the transmission, which I knew it had, but you can see right now it says transmission fault. What happens is that when you're driving, it just all of a sudden, it has trouble shifting, I'm thinking, from third into fourth after driving for a little bit. Even if you put it in manual, you can shift it all the way up to 5, 6, and then when the fault happens, it just skips down and all it says is S, as in sport or shift or whatever that is. So it'll say that, and then at that point it's just in neutral, like you have no power to the engine. Well, right now it's moving forward, but when you're on the road, it seems to like not have any power. It says S, but completely powerless. So trying to figure out what's going on with it right now. So far, I've driven 6 miles, as you can see, and I was actually switching lanes on the interstate, coming from the right, trying to go over to the left, so accelerated a little bit, and then all of a sudden you just lose power. So it's actually pretty interesting or dangerous when you're driving on the highway, but that is what it's doing right now. I'm gonna drive a little bit more as soon as I shut it off, so I can turn off the engine, and then I will be able to get it to drive again. But for example, right now it's in manual mode, right? So you got an S on there. If I try to shift it, see, it doesn't shift at all. So you can see me moving this up, up, down, down, and nothing happens in here. If I turn it off, however, put it into park, of course, turn it off. All right, and then turn it on again. All right, you can see it's in park, and I'm gonna shift it from park into manual, like I've just done there. And so that's over to the left side. And then now, if I tap up, it shifts. You know, it's not going into third because it's not going to, because we're not driving, but you can see at least now it's shifting back and forth into the gears. And if I want first, I can get first, right? I can go back into drive, and I'll be able to pull off and drive for a little bit until it starts acting up again. All right, as you can see, I've taken off and I'm driving, and it'll drive like this for a little bit until I think either the transmission gets warm or something like that happens, and then it starts acting up again. But right now, as long as there's a traffic jam and I'm moving slow, it'll continue going. I mean, it's got no problem with that whatsoever. But if I try anything dynamic, accelerating to try to pass somebody or anything like that, that's when it just doesn't shift anymore. I think it like goes into neutral, and then at that point you're more or less just stuck. It's not only not shifting, but I feel like you just have no power at that point, right? Or you're stuck in second at 6,000 revs or 5,000 revs trying to pull, 60 or 50 kilometers an hour. So definitely not healthy. All right, I'm gonna shift it into manual. So you can see I'm in S, S3, S4, just kind of hit it and then it skipped back to 3 again. So let's try it again, S4. I'm just probably not going fast enough, so it doesn't want me to shift to it, but you can see 3 is working just fine. And we'll wait for traffic to clear up a little bit and see if we can't go into 4th. See, now we're in 4th, is holding. 5 is holding. 6 and slowing down, so it's going to shift back down. So that'll work up to a point, and then it starts giving problems as well, even in manual mode. So, yeah. All right, so there we go. It's doing it. So I was in 4th or 4th or 5th, and then it skipped down into just this mode right here, and now it's just, I can accelerate, but you see it doesn't shift anymore, and now it says transmission fault, and that is the error that I'm talking about right there. I'll read it with a diagnostic machine and see what that says, but for right now, the only way to get out of this is to actually stop and manually and shut the engine off, and then it'll start running again. But for right now, I'm kind of stuck doing 50 miles per hour in what I'm assuming is third gear or something like that. So I'm redlining to 4,000 at 60 miles an hour. So I'm thinking that's probably third gear. If it was second, I'd be revving way higher at this speed. So stuck in third gear doesn't really shift, and I can slow down, and that doesn't really help. If I try to shift, it continues saying S down there. So yeah, just doesn't go anywhere at all. And I can put it back into drive, and again, that really does nothing. But that is what's going on right now. If you know what that's all about or what I'm going to need, let me know. I'm thinking some kind of transmission thing, transmission control module, actual transmission needing a rebuild, or any of a series of items like that. Not quite clear. So let me know what you guys think if you've had this issue before. Thank you. Peace.